welcome. You know what? I gotta find a way to have like a more creative intro to the podcast. You know what I mean? Not just the welcome, welcome, welcome. I gotta find a way. I'm gonna figure that out because I think that's. I'm not gonna say cliche, but it's sweet. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned into the Unpopular. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys. I wanna welcome everybody that's listening to the Unpopular podcast. It's your boy Jalen, and thanks for coming. I have a couple of unpopular opinions about sports, and just hear me out. That's my slogan. I need to find a way to integrate. Just hear me out, because that's like my underbed slogan. That nobody knows. Even if you look on the logo, it says "Just hear me out." So, but let me get to it. I want to thank you guys for listening to the Unpopular podcast. All-Star Weekend came and went, man. And excuse me, damn. Oh, I'm done. All-Star Weekend came and went, and it kind of shocked me, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to my last pod, right? I questioned, was All-Star Weekend dying? Now, All-Star Weekend, as we know, is driven by celebrities. Of course, you have all the basketball players, all the people go to wherever the All-Star Weekend is happening this year. Of course, it was in Charlotte. And it was exciting, man. Now, no slam dunk contest wasn't the greatest, but it had some exciting dunks. Check, homie from Check Diablo, whatever his name is. Homie from OKC won. He had some exciting dunks. He hopped over Shaq. The three-point contest is always the most exciting thing on Saturday night. Steph Curry lost by 2 points to Joe Harris, who was letting that thing go. Yo, I knew Joe Harris can shoot, but I was thinking to myself, yo, Joe Harris campaigned hard as hell to get in that goddamn shooting out, like three-point contest. This nigga better win, or at least make it to the second round. And this man did not disappoint. Steph Curry didn't disappoint either. I think there was one time he hit like 10 straight. Like, it was very exciting. So shouts out to Joe Harris. I'm disappointed in my man Dame. I know I didn't think he was going to win. I had Steph winning, of course. But I thought Dame was going to be a lot better than that. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on, Dame. But, yeah, man, All-Star Weekend was fun. The celebrity game, shouts out to Famous Los. I follow him on, social media, and I know he felt slighted last year by getting snubbed. I think Quavo won last year, and B.A. won the year before. But, they gave it to my man Los. Shouts out to him. But that was fun and exciting. Ray Allen can still freaking shoot. Like, it's, golly, once a shooter, always a shooter. I knew that, but Ray Allen was letting that thing go from Boston. Like, it was crazy. The Rising Star Challenge, I didn't really care about it, but there was some exciting dunks. There was some exciting dunks. And I say All-Star Weekend excited me because, not excited, surprised me because, like I said, last pod, I talked about the was it dying? But it was more exciting. It was a lot more exciting than I thought. The All-Star game was exciting. Steph Curry wasn't doing much, but he was throwing lobs. Giannis was dominating, catching. They had one of the best lobs of all time. Curry bounced the ball off the floor. I swear to you, that ball hit heaven before it came down to Giannis. Dunked it. KD won the All-Star Game MVP. Team LeBron won. I think it was 178 to 164. I'm not reporting about the All-Star Weekend. Pretty much, if you're a sports fan, if you're a basketball fan, you saw it. And I was talking to a girl, and she was like, I was excited that All-Star Weekend and the All-Star Game got it so right with the national anthem by Anthony Hamilton, with the I guess intro concert with Meek Mill, the halftime show with J. Cole. And she was like, I was like, how does the NBA get it so right in the NFL for the Super Bowl get it so wrong. She was like, well, it's All-Star Weekend compared to the Super Bowl. And I said, All-Star Weekend is a little different because if you look at the NBA Finals, it can go 4, 5, 6, or 7. And you don't know. So the NBA really, lays it all out for All-Star Weekend. And we saw it was exciting. They had technology that can like change the jersey. Like it was crazy, man. All-Star Weekend was exciting. Do I think it's completely like dead? No, I definitely didn't show any signs of deadness. Do I think that they have room for improvement? Of course. Like I said, the slam dunk contest wasn't the most exciting. I don't know what the hell John Collins was doing, trying to jump over a damn 1980s plane, but it was cool. It was cool. I'm not hating on it. All-Star Weekend came and went, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Not only am I excited for the second half of the season, but now you're really about to see the best teams have. You're about to see Golden State really clamp down. Golden State hasn't been the best on defense this year. You're really about to see them clamp down because it's in the home stretch at this point. Now teams are really about to be competing for seeding, and hell, teams are trying to make the playoffs. The Lakers still trying to make the playoffs. My Wizards are trying to make the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting what happens, like All-Star Weekend was the break, or is the break. I think teams come back on Thursday or Tuesday. No, I think it's Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday. But yeah, the NBA is now in the home stretch. Of course, we all think Golden State's going to win, unless you're not a Golden State fan. Jason Tatum made news when he said the Celtics were going to not just make the finals, they were going to win the finals. I was like, whoa. Calm down, bro. Calm down, Jason Tatum. Y'all in the 5th seed right now? So just calm down. Just calm down. And yeah, man, it's exciting times for the NBA. It's exciting times for the NBA. And I'm not that was quick. What I'm talking about, well, I have a special guest this episode. I have a very hardworking and dedicated person. She is a beat writer for the Washington Mystics. She is a women's college basketball writer for a lot of organizations. She is a sideline reporter for the Capital City Go-Go. For people that don't know, that is the G League team here in Washington. And her name is Jasmine Brown. Now, she does a lot. She goes to damn near every University of Maryland game, men and women. She works hard. And what we got into was we talked about women's sports. We talked about the importance of female sports. We talked about the importance of the WNBA. We talked about the importance of the G League. We talked about how the WNBA can expand. And if it can expand. And if it can expand, how? We talked about the rising tide that is I guess you can say the Capital City Go-Go. Of course they're new, they're fresh, and are they for real? Is this like just the first year jitters or first 2 year jitters or something, or can this team really contend in the G League? And is there NBA talent on the team? And we also slightly get into Kareem Hunt. Now, for people that don't know, Kareem Hunt was infamously seen beating a woman, and he pushed her, he kicked her. It was on video. It was domestic violence. And we saw he didn't get suspended from the Kansas City Chiefs because of what happened. He got suspended because he lied to them and said, I didn't make any contact. And that clearly was a lie. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that and everything. But before I bring on Jasmine, one thing I need to discuss is the Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reid NFL settlement. So, if you've been living under a rock, first of all, if you don't know what's been happening with Colin Kaepernick, not only do you not watch sports, but you clearly just don't have a pulse of what's happening in the nation. You know what I mean? This thing, what Colin Kaepernick has been doing, and of course with help of players like Eric Reid and stuff like that, what he's been doing is a lot bigger than NFL. This is a lot bigger than just taking a knee. Like, you have to understand, he was taking a knee to shine the light on police brutality towards African Americans. And he was also taking a knee for the veterans that when they come home from war, they're treated unjustly, and a lot of their benefits run out. A lot of them don't even have benefits, you know. So he had a good cause, but with a lot of people spinning the narrative as in he's disrespecting the flag or he's standing against the flag. That's not what he's standing for. That's not what he was standing for. And because of that, and of course a lot of people in the NFL or a lot of owners can deny it, but he pretty much got blackballed by the NFL because of his stance. No team wanted to touch him. And of course, a lot of pressure from, the president and everything, but he was blackballed and he had a collusion case with the NFL. And last week, Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reid, which were pretty much the two spearheading the campaign, reached a settlement with the NFL with undisclosed amount of money. But we all know that collusion case has been going on for a brick. So if they settle out of court or they settle, with an undisclosed amount, Colin Kaepernick got paid. But a lot of people saying Colin Kaepernick sold out. Or a lot of people saying, like, did he sell out his legacy, or did he sell out the legacy of this movement for the money? And I'm not understanding that. The NFL, first of all, when have you ever known the NFL to have a collusion case against them and settle out of court? Or I don't even know out of court, but settle with an undisclosed amount. And the agreement is no sides, as in Colin Kaepernick's side, Eric Reid's side, or the NFL side, can discuss this protest anymore. When have you ever heard the NFL to do something like that? The NFL doesn't even like players to get fully guaranteed contracts. And you think they're going to give out a undisclosed amount of money, which had to be a lot because Colin Kaepernick was fighting tooth and nail for this collusion case. I don't see how people are saying he sold out. He won. Colin Kaepernick not only got paid, but he exposed that, yes, the NFL, if the NFL didn't think they were colluding against him, they would not have paid him. He would not have gotten a dime if they thought they had a case against him. Colin Kaepernick was suing the NFL and got paid. That should show you everything. He didn't, to me. Now, of course, this is just my opinion. This is the Unpopular Podcast. This is my podcast. But I don't see how people are saying he sold out. Colin Kaepernick won. Now, no, he might not ever play in the NFL again. I don't think he will, unfortunately. I think he still has the talent, especially when people like Nate Peterman is getting jobs, and Christian Hackenberg is playing trash in the AAF or AFF, whatever it's called. But Colin Kaepernick did Colin Kaepernick won. Colin Kaepernick exposed the injustice of the police towards African Americans. He exposed that the NFL not only cares more about the opinion of the president and maybe season ticket holders. They clearly and they openly or blatantly colluded against him. And you know how he won? Because if the NFL had enough evidence, or the NFL didn't feel like they would lose, they would not have paid him. It's crazy to me that people are really don't see what's going on. Or I'm not gonna say they don't see what's going on, but they're really saying he's what for the people that's saying, and of course you can leave in the comments, you can hit me up. For the people that's saying that he sold out. What do you think what should have happened? What would have been the end goal that you think would have demonstrated him not quote unquote selling out? Because I think he won. I'm on that side where Colin Kaepernick beat the NFL. A player or former player maybe beat the NFL. And expose the NFL for what it is. Corrupt. Sneaky. Because again, and I'm not about to pay you anything if I have a case against you. Or I feel you don't have enough evidence against me. If I did it or not, I'm not about to pay if I feel there's a chance to win. Clearly, the NFL did not think there was a chance to win this case. So they paid him. And they had to pay him a hefty amount too. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane to me. I'm not about to stay on that for long. That was my thoughts. If you if you think that he lost, hey, hit it up in the comments. Let me know. But I have no problem debating this. I just don't see where I don't see how you think they. I don't see it. I really don't see it. But and the last thing I'm gonna say about that. Do I think he'll get a job in the NFL? I don't think so. I think his playing career, he already missed 2 years. He won a case against the NFL. So what team owner is going to want that on the team? Do I think he could be in the AAF or AFF? AAF? Maybe. But from reports, I think he's asking for like $20 million. Now, is he worth it? Maybe. But does the AFF have that money to pay? I doubt it. So I don't know. I think this is the last time we've ever seen Colin Kaepernick on a field, or I think that last time it was 2 years ago. But to me, and if I'm alone in this, hey, I'm alone in this. But shouts out to Colin Kaepernick. You did the damn thing, bro. You did not lose your integrity like some people. Oh no, you didn't lose your integrity for the money like some people. Steve Harvey. But you did what you had to do, man. And no. You know what? I did just take a shot at Steve Harvey. Shout out to Steve Harvey. That man is making $70 million a year. Hey, I ain't never seen $70 million in my complete life. So he's clearly doing something right. But again, this is the Unpopular Podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. Like I said, I told you guys I had a guest. The lovely, beautiful Jasmine Brown, and we had such a great conversation about a topic that isn't really discussed. It's not discussed at all, to be honest with you. And here we go. I have Miss Jasmine Brown. How you doing, Jasmine?
I am great. How are you?
Great. Jasmine does a lot. Jasmine, she is a beat writer for the Mystics. She's a women's basketball. What am I talking about? College basketball writer for the High Post Hoops. She works as a reporter for the Capital City Go-Go. She just does a lot. She does a lot. So it is definitely an honor and a blessing to have her on have her on the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm great. Just got out of class, and I have a actually have a busy schedule today. So I say, I'm gonna fit everything as much as I can. So,
So, man, well,
uh, really
I,
excited.
I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. So, not to waste much of your time, let's get it going. So, I wanted to talk to you because one thing that I noted, well, I've been noticed it, but it's more prevalent than ever now. How is it that there's so much happening with the WNBA and college basketball on a woman's point? However, it it's not it we don't see it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
unless you actually go search for it, we don't see it.
Mhm.
And I remember, and it's sad, but I remember the Washington Mystics,
Mhm.
uh, WNBA championship against Seattle.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh snap, the game is tonight. Let me go to ESPN to watch it. It wasn't on ESPN.
Mhm.
I said, all right, well maybe it's on ESPN too. They had like poker on ESPN
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And then I said, all right, well, it's the Washington Mystics. Let me go to NBC Sportsnet because that's where they, all the
Mhm.
Washington stuff. They
Mhm.
had they had uh they had like Washington Wizards talk, like a talk show. So
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, how is the WNBA, the Washington Mystics, who right now, lo and behold, is better than the Wizards?
Mhm.
How are they getting overshadowed by a talk show? Like, do you see that more prevalent than ever now?
Yes. Even during the season, they did not show. They maybe showed maybe one or two Mrs. games last season, and even with the Capital City Go-Go, of course I cover them, but I've noticed that they've gotten more airtime on ESPN Plus, um, either on Monumental Sports and even on NBC Sports Washington. So, it's just kind of weird to me. They're in their first season and they have more than a team has been there since 2002, 2003. And they just went to the championship. They just
Yeah.
went there. The Capitals just did it, and then right, back to back. The Mystics are right there, and I'm just like, okay, why did it die down for them? They're it's basketball.
Yeah.
It's basketball, and I was very surprised by that. That they show every other team except. I know that people um, they don't like the fact that women's basketball is, uh, I guess, action packed and athletic and as much as the men's league, but it's a lot of fun, and people have to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Even the semifinals between the Storm and the Phoenix Mercury, that was great. It was really great. It was a really great series, and people just aren't giving it a chance, and it sucks, honestly.
Yeah, I remember walking around the city during the WNBA finals, and I knew that the Mystics were playing, and all I saw were nothing but Capital,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Capitals posters and Capital signs. Like, yeah, I understand they won, but where's the support for the women? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, and to be completely honest, the Mystics have had more success recently than any other team. Now, yes, the Capitals won if you take that out, but they've had more success in the Nationals. They've had more success
Mhm.
definitely in the Wizards. I mean,
Right.
I don't even want to talk about the Wizards right now, but
Right.
it's just crazy how and this is not just the Mystics, this is the broader terms. How can we as viewers, fans of sports, and how can the WNBA, how do you think we can improve viewership? Because again, there's times when I'm flipping through the channels and I'm like, yo, I know that there's the WNBA game going on, and I'm over here watching bow and arrows on ESPN2.
Right.
Like, what can be done to improve the viewership and I guess the popularity of the WNBA in your opinion?
I think the biggest thing starts with the WNBA themselves.
Uh-huh.
I think they have fumbled the bag time and time and time again with
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
And just looking at the AAF.
Hmm.
Nobody knew about that until what, the day it premiered,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people wanted to watch it. I
Hmm.
mean, even though they weren't marketing like the whole time, they had people watching, and they had people wanted to want to continue to watch. I don't know what they did. I don't know, but
I think it's just football because I saw the
yeah,
numbers and like 2.9 million watching. I'm like, yo, did I? And I even Googled and YouTube. I didn't see not one commercial for the
exactly.
AF. In fact, I was flipping through CBS. I'm like, yo, what is this? And so
Exactly.
I was like, that's crazy. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, no, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, football is king, of course,
Hmm.
but the fact that there was somehow, some way, people looked at it the same day,
Hmm.
and the fact that the Twitter accounts, they did stuff to promote it, I guess that day, and still had people watch, is something that the WNBA doesn't do. And you know, there there have been times that I think that there was a press conference on a Sunday at 3 o'clock,
Hmm.
the same time that the game one for the Mystics and the Dream were playing. So
Yeah.
Lisa Borders, the former president, was talking, and I made a tweet. I did what was it? Whitney Houston face. She was looking back angrily, and I put that in as a tweet. And I expressed my frustration all year, and I feel like I think a lot of people contributed to the success of it, making people want to watch it.
Hmm.
And but if the league itself isn't working to market themselves, it's not going to work, because anybody who writes for them or is passionate about them can tweet out all day long, how much it is, how great it is, or
Hmm.
how it's advanced over the years. But if it it's crooked at the top, it's going to be shaky at the bottom. So you know
Yeah.
that's something that they need to work on. They need better marketers in there. It's not working.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that.
Yeah. I think and you touched on the WNBA standpoint. I think the NBA has something to do with it too. Like the
Oh yeah.
NBA, they market the G League. They market everything. I mean, right now the Chinese New Year's ads are going around, and and of course the NBA makes the most money.
Hmm.
And when you have a branch of organization, you should preview the whole organization.
Right.
Uh, I of course, you see maybe a sprinkle of commercials here and there before the season starts, but
Hmm.
the biggest news that just came up was the CBA that really wasn't even discussed, and
Was
how
right.
the WNBA almost wasn't about to happen.
Hmm.
Um, and I think when you have okay, let's be real, the WNBA isn't gonna have no Vince Carter dunks, isn't gonna
Right.
have no body getting dunked on, but there are women are athletes, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
and I think if you get help, like I'm not saying that you need the NBA, but I think the NBA definitely needs to play its part and to promote the WNBA. I mean, the NBA promotes All Star Weekend like it's nobody's business, or they
Hmm.
promote marquee matchups. They have ABC games, they have TNT games,
Hmm.
they have, of course, ESPN games. But then yet you gotta whip out your Dora the Explorer map just to catch
Right.
a women's a women's game, and it sucks, man. It really sucks that people that don't know, like I see, because you are pretty much like your Twitter is infamous for supporting female athletics, which is
Hmm.
how it is. Because I know a lot of people joke like, oh man, I'd rather watch a WNBA game than this.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
like, yo, some of the women in WNBA will drop buckets on somebody like easily.
And
And
yeah, and people keep talking about the WNBA is boring, but I'm just like, okay, well, how many NBA matchups were aired and people was like, this is a boring game,
yeah,
or it was a blowout. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, and then people think, oh, well, the WNBA, they have less points. So I'm just like, you do realize that the WNBA plays 8 less minutes than the NBA.
yeah,
That's a lot of time to score points. So
yeah,
people are trash. I have no problem saying it when it comes to that. But even then, they show. um, marquee matchup is always they were forcing the Lynx and the Sparks a
Hmm.
lot on ESPN
Yeah,
ESPN2 last year,
definitely.
and I'm just like, there are other games that are on League Pass,
Hmm.
and even then there's a struggle with League Pass. People couldn't access it
Yeah.
um, to watch the game, so it's just like, there are other teams out there, there are other games out there that y'all can play. But I think the biggest thing is, you're right, with the NBA. And I think the person that was a big proponent of it was David Stern.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he was behind them 100%, and that's why that product was there. They were on ABC. I think they were on NBC.
Yeah,
I
they
think
were.
Mike Breen called a championship, and um was it the Liberty and the Comets?
Hmm.
And also they were on Lifetime.
Yeah.
People always talked about, oh, y'all remember watching them on Lifetime. Lifetime, a woman's network, and they can change it up. They can show some sports in there. They should go back to doing that. Because I look at the movies on Lifetime, and it's just ridiculous. It's the same plot over and over again, and they need to switch it up and throw some sports in there like they used to. But yeah, I don't really think that Adam Silver. I want to criticize him, but Adam Silver just isn't. He's not doing what David Stern did
Yeah.
for NBA.
And I think, and yeah, I do. I completely agree. But I think that David Stern was more staunch with it because it was new. Like
Hmm.
well, he didn't introduce, but it was new when he came.
Right.
So you wanted to get it off the ground and rolling. Now that it drew a cult following, for lack of a better term, I think that you can need to continue to grow on that.
Right.
And one thing that really sucks and really needs to change is, so the when we look at the salaries, right?
Hmm.
A max contract for a WNBA player is pretty much the the max contract for a second round pick in the NBA.
Hmm.
And it sucks because that really tampers. Not only does that hinder the league, but it tampers the players, because now you have superstar players like Simone Augustus and
Hmm.
Abumake and Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi. They have to go overseas to
Yeah.
play.
Hmm.
So while the NBA has an off season, the WNBA pretty much, for a lot of their stars, they play year round.
Hmm.
So how do you think, when the NBA, I mean the finals come for the WNBA, you have players that are dead tired,
Hmm.
and then they have to turn around maybe week later and go to, I don't know, Europe or China or something. And I was watching a documentary about Simone Augustus. She leaves, I believe, some part of Russia
Hmm.
like the day before training camp for the team, for the Lynx. So
Hmm.
it's like, yo, like I play basketball, and I used to play for college,
Hmm.
and I understand your body needs a break, and that's just college, and it wasn't even like NCAA. It's like this was NAIA. So you have people playing at the top level, and
Right.
you have them playing, or they have to play year round, or they're gonna struggle to make it. and
Hmm.
and that's crazy. And that kind of sort of segues to our next topic, which is Maya Moore. While I understand she's sitting out for personal reasons, family reasons, religion, I mean
Hmm.
spiritual reasons. I get that and I respect it. But I'm almost sure that decision would be a lot harder if she was making, you know, 250 million like Steph Curry is, or 300 million like some players are. Like if she was able to sustain like that, like if she had the check like that, while I'm not saying she wouldn't make that decision, I'm just saying it would be a lot harder for her to make that decision. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, because she'll have an off season,
Yes. Yes.
and of course, they play. Was it 30 to 32 game season?
Hmm.
They do play
Hmm.
way less games than the NBA. But I mean, the G League, they play 50,
Yeah.
and their pay isn't great, but it's higher.
Hmm.
Um, not that much higher, but um,
And that's even crazy. The offspring of the NBA gets more money than the only women's league, and that's in America, of course, and that's crazy to me.
right, and it sucks. They run their bodies into the ground, and then they have to get ready for the WNBA, and then the fact that last year it was a condensed schedule
Hmm.
because of the FIBA, the World Cup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think it was after the Mystics and Sparks second round, NECA and Candace, they were just like, you know what? I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah.
The rest, and they
Yeah.
at that point they didn't care about winning, and it stuck out to me because they were tired,
Hmm.
and I could feel their pain. They were tired, and I think even for Maya, I think some people were coming back maybe a few days before the season started, um,
Exactly.
because they were coming from a foreign place. I get it if you have a contract overseas and you stay overseas until you get, I guess, a call up
Hmm.
for the NBA. It's like, okay, but you are signed to two contracts and you're playing year round,
Yeah.
off season, and nobody seems to get that. Nobody seems to respect that, and I want them to respect them more. It's like they're really putting their bodies into a lot, and
Hmm.
um they're not getting the credit for it.
Yeah. Like it. Again, I was watching the documentary I was talking about, and Simone Augustus, her overseas contract is more than her WNBA contract.
Yeah, they make a lot.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think there can start to be a trend where player, some of the top players will be like, you know what, I'm gonna sit out this year for the WNBA and just play overseas because I make more there.
Hmm.
And if this doesn't improve, and of course I'm not wishing upon this, but if this doesn't improve, I can really see down the road the WNBA struggling to maintain,
Hmm.
because like I said, when your top players are willing to sit out, like imagine LeBron James and Steph Curry say, you know what, I'm not about to play this year. I'm gonna play over there in China. And
Hmm.
then the NBA will go into uproar, like, all right, we need to get them here. How can we keep them here?
Right.
And of course, you alluded to the WNBA. They play less games, but still, that there should be no reason why uh, a woman has to not only play year round, but they have to be away from their family. That's why Maya Moore is like, yeah, I got to take a break. Like
Hmm.
they're away from their families pretty much year round if they take the contract, and it's just crazy. And back to Maya Moore, do you think that her absence, especially this year, will hurt the WNBA?
Yeah, superstar. Maya Morris. You
Yeah.
know, when people think of the WNBA, it's Maya Moore, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Lena Deladon. Like
Yeah.
Maya Moore is like that first person that people kind of really throw out the name. So
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt. The Lynx, of course, their age kind of hindered them this season because of the fact that the WNBA are ushering in some more players. Like they're speeding the game up.
Hmm.
Um, which I do think, if they could, off topic a little bit, but they could, you know, um, maintain.
Yeah.
There's some girls in high school that can really make that league look really attractive. Um,
Yeah.
them girls ain't playing.
Yeah. There was
And
this one girl in the McDonald's joint that was dunking, like she won a
yeah,
slam dunk contest. So
exactly.
yeah.
That's several that are there, but the links there were the age was kind of hindered by that, but it's still Maya Moore, and that's a name that's not going to be called this season, and you can tell last season, anybody that watched, she wasn't herself, and,
Yeah.
and I think mentally she checked out, um, and it showed all
Yeah.
season, but it's going to be rough, but that's a reality,
Mhm.
um, and if they don't see, if they see that her absence is a problem, maybe just maybe they could do something to um, say like, okay, like superstars are leaving. Let's see if we can do
Yeah.
something to try to help them out.
Yeah, and it's not like she's leaving because of an injury or a
Right.
pregnancy or something. She's leaving for personal reasons.
Right.
And that's the last thing that a league wants is when the face of your league leaves, and it's not because it's just because they want to leave. It's not because, oh yeah, no, like again, injury or something. Like she made the decision because
Mm.
she wanted to. Do you think the CBA has something to do with this too? Because I remember, earlier this or earlier before in the off season that there was big CBA talks with the WNBA.
Yeah, I think some players they also said that they kind of regretted signing the first one a little too quickly.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean they don't disclose anything. Um, they're very secretive, and I really want to know why. You
Yeah.
know, they don't they don't. You have to dig and find the revenue that they're making, the salaries, and the only thing that you can really find is viewership,
Hmm.
and even then, it's not even broken down. So I think a lot of them realize it's like, yeah, this is a problem, and
Yeah.
they were a lot bolder this time about that. But again, the WNBA is very secretive, and they haven't disclosed a lot, which is hard for people to kind of understand. The
Hmm.
dynamics of the WNBA, but they need to do. I feel like the WNBA needs to expose that so people can kind of get a sense of how they operate. But it's hard when they aren't even disclosing that.
And I think that the WNBA is scared to push because they understand. I mean, it's already a skinny rope that they're on now, unfortunately, and they don't want to push too hard. Or it's like, all right, I don't know, they completely lose funding or something. But I think they need to push um, I guess demand the respect that they should deserve.
Hmm.
Not should deserve, they deserve because again, like we just stated, it there should be no reason why half the players in the pretty much all the players in the WNBA don't even know much about the CBA, or they have to hunt for it, and it it's crazy, man. It's crazy to know that there is a league out there that you make more. I saw this when I was doing the research for this. Professional bowlers make more money than some of the WNBA players, and I think that you only watch bowling on Sundays. So, and that's like if you don't go to church.
Right.
So it's crazy. Man, I feel for the WNBA,
Some work
bro.
to do. Some work
Yeah,
to do.
they definitely need some work to do. But I do see, things are improving as terms of, the at least for the Mystics,
Hmm.
they don't have to share a arena with the Wizards anymore.
Hmm.
And now I mean the Capital City Go-Go isn't going to play with them, so
Right.
I do see that they're improving facilities at least here, but I wish that it would be more.
Right.
And I guess to piggyback a little bit on the WNBA, you see that there are some women from the WNBA, whether legends or not, are gaining traction and opportunities coaching men's sports.
Hmm.
You see Becky Hammond, you see Chrissy Tolliver. She was the assistant coach for the Wizards. Lisa Leslie, she is coaching a Big Three league. Do you think that that'll improve, as in like more women will start getting more coaching opportunities? And do you think this also helps the WNBA?
Yeah. I mean, when Chrissy Tolliver, when she when it was announced that she was going to, be the assistant for the Wizards, I mean, the outpour of support was ridiculously great, and I was very surprised because of the fact that he gets so hammered all the time.
Yeah,
Um, I was very surprised, and then when Lindsay Whalen, when she got the opportunity to coach Minnesota, of
yeah,
course, people respect her, but didn't think that I was surprised at that too, just to that, and Lisa Leslie with the Big Three, you know
Yeah,
I was
that's big.
surprised again. And Simone Augustus, I know she was, was there. She got a broadcasting opportunity, and then Candace Parker, she was on the TNT crew. I
Hmm.
mean, all of that, I was surprised at and very shocked,
Yeah,
um, because I didn't think that people would accept it. I feel that the problem it's the WNBA when they play,
yeah.
not when they do everything else, and
Hmm.
that is very interesting to me. You would think that it will drag everywhere else, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, Becky Hammond definitely, um, she's definitely can be a spearhead for coaching, starting that revolution. Um, Kind of died down a little bit, but I think she can start. She is it. She needs to have that baton and then be ready to pass it on so it can keep growing.
yeah. I see. There's a lot. If you really look, there's a lot of women sprinkled around sports, and that's great. Of course, you
Mhm.
could say Becky Hammond, Lindsay Whalen, even Doris Burke. Like women are
Mhm.
respected for being behind the mic or being in front of the camera, but I think that respect needs to definitely carry to their actual play on the court.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we have a long way to go, but I think that we're getting. I think that we're improving. I don't know. I don't know how, but I do feel a shift, and I feel that women now are getting the respect. They just need it more. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
but dang, we've been talking kind of morbidly. You know what I mean? Like, last thing I want to say before we turn to something good. And just your quick thoughts. So, and this is not with basketball, but Kareem Hunt. Many
Mhm.
people know Kareem Hunt was released from the Chiefs due to a video surfacing of him pushing a female, kicking a female while she was down, domestic violence.
Mhm.
And a lot of he didn't get released because the video came out. He got released because he lied to the Chiefs and said
Mhm.
that he didn't have contact with her at all until the video came out. Today or last week, a the Cleveland Browns picked him up.
Mhm.
And of course they say, we talked to Kareem. We think that he is bad. He feels bad for his actions. He takes ownership of his actions, and everybody deserves a second chance. How do you feel about that situation?
How I've always felt, the NFL clearly doesn't care about domestic violence, and it'll be that way for a long time. And part of me, it sucks because football is my first love for sports, um, and part of me loves it, loves the I mean WNBA, he loves the NFL,
Hmm.
but it's part of me, it's hard to support. The amount of people that have maintained a job or got another job because of the fact that domestic violence. I mean, it's ridiculous to me, and they don't care. And I know they had this no more commercial like some years ago, whatever, but um, it I don't they don't care,
Yeah.
and it's clearly obvious that they don't care about women. Um, and even with the Giants kicker, I know he had that issue.
Hmm.
I think with Frank Clark for the Seahawks, he had that issue, and he's still playing.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. But then have when there's video evidence,
Hmm.
nothing. You know,
Yeah.
Ezekiel
Yeah.
Elliott, they clearly the girl lied,
Hmm.
and they still got him out of there. And but then he groped the girl, whatever, and then they had a problem with that. But then you got Gronk groping somebody, and it's not an issue. I just feel that the the chastising of people is not there is also not spread equally.
Hmm.
They kind of pick and choose who they want to get up out of there. But then even then, it's like the Browns. It's the
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah.
That's been the motto for years.
Yeah.
The team wins. Oh, it's the Browns. It's
Yeah.
the Browns. And I feel like with this signing, it's like, oh well, it's the Browns.
Mm,
Whatever. They're debacle with Josh Gordon.
yeah. Yeah.
Coming back and leaving and coming back. But then they were like, oh, it's the Browns. And I feel like it's the same thing with Kareem.
Yeah, you even and I completely agree with you that the NFL is so tone deaf. Like you even see with the Redskins picking
Hmm.
up Reuben Foster
Oh yeah, yeah.
after getting accused for the third time last year, like three times in 1 year. Of course, you saw how slow it was for them to react with the Greg Hardy situation. Um, yeah, it Holly it's just this really shows. Now, of course, I do believe people deserve second chances, but when the man got dropped, what, 3 months ago,
Hmm.
and then now he's back. It's like, damn, that's the quickest second chance of all time, bro.
Exactly.
Like, the NFL is definitely tone deaf in this whole domestic violence thing,
Mhm.
and like I even stated that on a couple podcasts ago. Like this something that needs to change because at the end of the day, yeah, your audience is mainly males, but you don't want to segregate and just completely lose interest in females as well. Like I know that's not a big demographic of yours, but at the end of the day, you you can't like you have a problem. You have a domestic violence problem,
Mhm.
or the way that people treat women problem. And if you don't address it, it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse. Hell, even we, even Ben Roethlisberger. How many? He's had a couple of being accused. Antonio Brown, what a week ago, had domestic violence accusation.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you're starting to see it's being more it's coming more and more, which is sad. And the NFL definitely. I hate when they say we're doing our investigation and then don't find anything, but then 5 months later or 5 weeks later, we see a video like, how the hell could TMC get this, but the NFL can't? It's crazy. It's just.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, let's get off this morbid stuff. I got one more topic to tell. One more topic. So I know, of course, like I said, this is the Unpopular Podcast. I want to thank Miss Jasmine for being here,
Thanks
and
for having
she
me.
is yeah, she is a very staunch supporter of women's college basketball. And of course, I watch sports religiously. I watch basketball all the time, and which means I watch women's basketball. And is it just me, or does it feel like and not just women's, but in college basketball as a whole, that there's more parity than ever now. Like if you look at the standings for women's college basketball, you got Baylor number one, Louisville two, Oregon, UConn, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, Maryland at seven.
Mhm.
You look at all seven of those teams, I can make a case why they can win it all, and
Mhm.
then I can also make a case why they could lose. And
Mhm.
and you can, like I said, you can even go over with the men's Duke, they have the three phenomenal freshmen, but they have some problems. Uh,
Mhm.
my team, North Carolina, we just lost to Virginia, but some
Mhm.
days we look incredible. Some days we look like we're the worst team in the world. Hell,
Mhm.
Virginia can't beat Duke. So
Right.
it's like I feel like there's more parity in college basketball than ever. And like I said, University of Maryland, I know you're big with them. They some days they look like they can't miss from 3 point line. And some
Mhm.
days it's like, damn, they're getting killed in the paint.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
the mighty Yukon, they're sitting at what one, two, fourth right now, and that's
Mhm.
unheard of from the mighty Yukon. So, do you think that do you think that there is more parity than ever in women's college basketball? And two, do you think that that's a good thing for women's college basketball? I guess.
Yeah. Looking at the last couple seasons, I think the main team that you can look at is UConn. Um, just looking at how they lost the last two seasons.
Mhm.
Morgan Williams hitting that shot.
Yeah.
Um, And Gino, he kind of smiled, okay, hey. And then, but then when Enrique hit that shot the next year, it was like, all right, like,
I was watching that game, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yo, as soon as I left her hand, I said, yo, she made that. And then
yeah,
I went crazy. Now I'm not a UConn fan nor my Notre Dame fan, but I was like, yo, this is big, man. Not saying
right,
like they dethroned UConn, but
right,
this is big. Like they were going crazy, and that joint led Sports Center. So I was like, oh
right, yeah.
man,
And I think my biggest reaction obviously was Mississippi State, because they never lost ever. So I mean, my mouth was my jaw dropped. And I went on Twitter, and I mean, when I tell you everybody was talking about that game,
yeah,
I mean, everybody was talking about that game. I mean, it was all UConn. And then last year with Enrique, same thing. And it's like, you know, looking at it, maybe from 2 years ago, it was like, wow, UConn got beat. Now it's like, dang, UConn UConn is not the standard anymore.
yeah.
And I think it's definitely reflecting in recruiting, you
Mhm.
know. Looking at a lot of people that are going to Stanford, going to Maryland, going to South Carolina, Mississippi State, you know, they girls are realizing, you don't have to go to UConn
Yeah, I
to
think
be what
Maryland.
you do there. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think Maryland. This is stat came out like Maryland's like top 50 in recruiting now. Like
Hmm.
that's I don't remember last time that's happened.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. Like I was just and this season has been crazy because of course Notre Dame looked dominant for a minute and they lost a couple or they lost one or two,
Hmm.
three. I'm sorry. Baylor. I mean Baylor's always there. They have a great coach and
Yeah.
everything,
Right.
but they weren't on the radar. Of course, we all thought UConn was going back. They lost twice.
Hmm.
So it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but that's so like I'm excited. Of course
Yeah.
a diehard basketball fan. I'm excited because I don't know both in women's and men's. Like I don't know who's gonna win.
You
And
don't know. Yeah, you don't know. And I did not picture Tennessee being
goodness,
being number one and still
yeah,
being number one for this long. I thought Vanderbilt had them, but didn't work out. But
yeah,
this is going to be a really fun. It's both of them. They're going to be great, and I
yeah,
will be in Tampa to cover the women's Final Four. So that would be awesome. And then I will try to see if I can make it out to the. I'm from DC, the DC area, so I can see if I can make it out to the men's as a fan, because I
yeah,
do like to go to some games as a fan and not reporting all the time.
yeah.
Oh,
Look
this
at that.
this is gonna be real fun. Real fun, real fun. Cause a lot of I mean, so many teams went down on the men's and women's side. I don't know what week it was, but I think about 12 teams went down
Yeah,
on the women's
yeah,
side, and then about
hmm
10 of them went down. Like I think three or four,
yeah,
three of the top four went down. I mean, that week was crazy, and I was like, "What is going on?" And the fact that it happened to both sides, it was
yeah.
like,
I remember.
"What's going on?"
I think what started it was when Duke lost to Gonzaga, and
Hmm.
then I think a few days later UConn lost. And then a few days later, North Carolina beat Gonzaga when the Gonzaga was number one. And then it was like a trickle down
It
effect.
just kept going. Yep.
All I saw was upset alert, upset alert. I said, yo, and then Notre Dame, it was just upset alert city.
Yeah, it was
And
so much.
it's crazy.
It was
But
it was a lot.
but I do understand that you're a busy woman. I do appreciate you coming on the podcast. What's some other stuff you have coming up?
Well, I'm actually going to be covering the Capital City Go-Go tonight at 7. They are ahead of schedule. um, I didn't think they'll be 18. Well, they're 18 and 16 right now. So I'll be covering them tonight. They play the Westchester Knicks. Yeah, I'm going to be producing some WNBA videos. I'm actually going to do a league pass video. It's probably going to drop soon. People have been liking that stuff. So that's another thing, people that are invested in dropping some great content for that. People will look at it because there's nothing to really see right now.
Hmm
And also Um, yeah, I'm going to class,
Okay.
doing
So,
some things right now.
all right. So, where are some places that we can find some of your great content?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter, JASMINED_Brown. My Instagram is JDani, JDANI Media. And then my YouTube is Through the Pen Sports. And that's also the name of my website.
Okay, and I will definitely link all those in the description below. Again, I want to thank you, Miss Brown. This is actually you're actually my first guest on the podcast, actually. So
Really?
yeah, this is
Oh,
monumental to say the least.
awesome. I'm honored. Thank
Hey
you.
man, I do appreciate like we clearly just heard. I do appreciate you taking out time out of your busy schedule. I definitely wish you the best. You're definitely welcome to come on whenever. And
Thank you. You too.
again, I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you have it, man. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Jasmine again for coming on the podcast. She was my first guest. So shouts out, round of applause. I'm broke, so I don't have that round of applause sound effect. So that was real life clapping. But again, I want to thank Jasmine for being on the show. I'm gonna put her Instagram. I'm gonna put her Twitter. I'll put her um, YouTube channel. I'll put all those links in the description below. If you're on SoundCloud, in fact, I'll still put it in the description. I'll put it in the description. Again, the WNBA has ways to go, but I mean it's improving. But there's no reason. Like again, I saw that, and and you just heard it. we everybody, it's like everybody needs to do a better job in promoting the WNBA. Whether it's the WNBA, they still need to get a commissioner, a president. They still need to get that. The NBA can help a lot, of course. How they promote a lot of things. I think they can promote the WNBA a lot more, and the fans can actually give a damn. You know what I mean? That's just how it needs to be. There should be no reason why some of the best players should have to play year round, or some of the best players get bigger contracts overseas. You know what I mean? That's wild if you ask me. That's crazy. But people probably ask why I didn't touch on the Antonio Brown thing. I mean, we all knew he's leaving. We all knew the writing on the wall when homie didn't play the last game and he wasn't answering his owner's calls, or the owner of the team. That sounded bad. His owner, his Black History Month. The owner of the team's calls. The writing on the wall was pretty much there. I knew he wasn't gonna be there no more. I don't need to continue to talk about Anthony Davis. We know he ain't gonna be a Pelican next year. More than likely, I see him on the Celtics if Kyrie Irving's there. If not, he's gonna find his way to another team, and eventually he's gonna end up in the Lakers. I don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about what's his name, Dell Demps or something. Pelicans owner or GM. Pelicans GM got fired. I mean we went. You've had Dell Demps. He had all that talent around him, around Anthony Davis for so long, and you only have one playoff series win, and that was last year against when you swept Portland and got embarrassed by Golden State. And last year was the first time I can remember that you actually not only had some talent go to you in DeMarcus Cousins, but you actually paired Anthony Davis with somebody that's perennial all-star caliber worthy. Not to mention the history the Pelicans have. Chris Paul won it out. Anthony Davis won it out. They botched a lot of trades. They botched a lot of contracts. Like, I don't need to talk about that. Is there anything else that happened in the sports world before I leave? I don't believe so. You got any sleepers? I know. Sorry, no. Shout out to the Joe Budden podcast. I ain't biting. Yeah, I think that might be it, bro. I think that might be it. Oh, if you guys, let me know if you guys want to be a part in the intro. All right, so for people that listen to the whole podcast, first of all, shouts out to y'all. You guys are the real MVP that listen from start to finish, even if it's in the background. All the love in the world, man. But let me know. Comment below. Hit me up if you guys want to be integral in the intro and outro music. Now, of course, for people that listen, the intro is always an oldie. So if you have any oldie ideas, shoot them my way. And the outro is more than likely a rap song. It doesn't have to be new school, but just shoot something to me. But yeah, man, I'm rapping at this point. I want to thank you guys for listening to Unpopular Podcast. It's your boy Jalen, and till next time. Oh, and thank you again. Thank you to the lovely Jasmine Brown. I appreciate it. The inaugural first guest. Much love to her. I pray that everything goes right for her. And until next time, much love.
I'm living my best life. Yeah. I'm living my best life. Made a couple M's, I said, I'm living my best life. I said, I'm living my best life. Made a couple M's with my best friends. Turned all my L's into lessons. You see the whip pulling up, it's like skirt. Dreams pulling up, I'm like skirt. I'm living my best life. It's my birthday, at least that's what I'm dressed like. I'm like Big Pop mixed with Tupac. I'm like Machiavelli, Nita, Little Caesar pizza. I be hot and ready, nigga. You a pussy and a rat. You like Tom and Jerry, nigga. You ain't ballin', you just talking. That's that commentary. I was in the field, man. I slaved for this. Had to talk to God, drop down and pray for this. To my surprise, he replied, say you made for this. I seen the car, wanted, then I went and paid for it. Cash, hit the take, yeah, I hit